Hey everybody, it's Dolly. It's time for more My Little Pony redesigns. Yeah! Today we're going to do some of the side characters. I put up a poll asking which ones you wanted, and these were the 4 that won. So instead of the usual 3, we're going to be doing all 4 ponies, because you can't really split Celestia and Luna apart. So, let's start out with our first redesign. Derpy, aka Muffins, aka Ditsy Doo, is most well known for her crossed eyes, which were originally an animation error. I really like her pony design, but her Equestria Girls design does that thing that Rainbow Dashes does, where it has the exact same hair as the pony form. And the green looks a little bit strange. So for my redesign, I wanted it to kind of match her bubbly personality. And I wanted to incorporate the fact that she is a mailman or male mare in the pony world into her design. But I didn't want her to have a uniform that would be boring in the sense of a fashion doll, so I instead went with a very more casual mailman kind of look. Like, all she really needed to have was a tie and a hat, but other than that, she could just accessorize however she wanted. So she still has the silhouette of a mailman, but she's also still interesting enough to be a doll. For some reason, I really wanted to give her a clear plastic hat and jacket. I really like it when figures do this, and I feel like it's a really smart design choice, because it adds to the silhouette, but it also doesn't obscure whatever would be usually obscured if it wasn't clear. For her colors, I really wanted to go with what her original pony design already had. She has yellow hair, so I wanted to add a lot of yellow accents, and her skin is a kind of grayish blue, so I also wanted to add a lot of blue. I added a bunch of details that'll be easier to see in the final reveal, like she has little charms on her bracelet that are a muffin and an hourglass to reference her friendship with Dr. Hooves. She also has a very tiny muffin on her flip phone. While I was looking for pictures of her, I kind of forgot that her cutie mark was supposed to be bubbles, and for some reason I thought it was muffins. And I don't know why I was so confused for a second. I guess it's because muffins are such a big part of her character, and people usually reference them with her, that I thought that it was her cutie mark. But no, it's bubbles. I definitely think she's one of the cutest I've done, but she's also one of the biggest deviations from the original. There's always one character whenever I'm doing redesigns that is just inexplicably hard. In the past, it was Twilight. And yes, by the way, I do know that I drew her with 6 fingers. I fixed it, I swear. The thing about Sunset is, I don't hate her original design. The only thing I can really say for her is that I wish that her hair was like how it is in its pony form. That was the only thing for certain that I knew I wanted to change. Everything else was just kind of nitpicky. Her skirt matches her skin color a little bit too much. She's got a yellow stripe that doesn't match any of the other yellows in her design. But there was nothing that stuck out to me too terribly, and I think that was most of my problems, is that I couldn't find what I didn't like, so it was a little bit hard to try and figure out what I would like to do instead. She easily took up 70% of the time it took to do all 4 of these characters. I wasn't really sure what theme I should go with for her because, of course she's a mean girl with a leather jacket. But other than that, that's not too much to go off of. I was originally going to go with a very glam rock look for her because I thought, she kind of looked like a Gem in the Holograms kind of girl. I also thought the 80s look could maybe be a signifier of, she wasn't really from this world, and so she's a little bit behind the times. But I decided that that was better for just Twilight to have, and she is supposed to be kind of the it girl, so I wanted her to be a little more modern. So I decided to scrap the outfit and go with more of a biker look, which I definitely think was a better move. It also let me keep her original silhouette of the leather jacket and boots, which, while I don't like every single character having boots in the original, I do think that it works for her. I was originally going to use a lot of purple in the design, but then I decided that it would be better if I did a kind of teal green to match her eyes. I also decided to add 2 burn marks to her wrist from when she was turned into a demon in the first movie. It's also something that I think Twi would have since she also got turned into a demon, and I also gave her horse pupils inside of her regular pupils to signify that she's from the pony world just like regular Twilight. And to signify she was once Celestia's pupil, I gave her a little headband that my Celestia redesign has. I also did a tiny redesign on her demon form. And here's Sunset Shimmer. I will never be able to explain how difficult this design was, but I am actually really happy with how it turned out. Okay, so these two might actually be my least favorite designs. How do you go from this to this? Not even the same characters! Like, how do you go from Princess Celestia with her magic hair to this? And I guess her being super tall in the pony world just translated to her having the longest legs ever. And Luna! Oh, it's like, it's not even the same colors. And as far as I remember, she's the only character that they do this to. It's not even like these colors are more appealing. I don't get it at all. Okay, so first things first, we have to bring back the big hair. I don't know why they decided to go with this kind of undefined, shapeless blob for their hair, because as ponies, they are some of the most marketable characters, but they decided to make them the most unmarketable when they became humans? They knew this because their dolls don't look anything like the movie. Maybe because they thought that they were going to be adult principals, that they wouldn't be appealing anymore? And is it just me, or does anybody else find it really weird that, like, the ponies are all definitely young adults in the pony world, but then they're teenagers in the human world? So then is Twilight Sparkle an adult going to high school? I think what I would have done is I would have taken the idea of the friendship school from the later seasons and changed that into Equestria Girls. And it would kind of be like Hogwarts for college students, if that makes sense. And Princess Celestia and Luna were more like Dumbledore than random principals. And maybe that's why Sunset Shimmer goes there, because there's all this knowledge about friendship that she could use. And that's why she steals Twilight's crown, because she's the princess of friendship, and she can use it to harness all of the friendship power. And maybe that could better explain why they're still able to harness the magic after Twilight leaves, because the school is just so full of friendship, and they might even start learning about friendship magic after she leaves. I don't know, I just feel like personally that would fit them better and make it to where they didn't have to be teenagers and they could still all be young adults. As for Celestia and Luna, I definitely wanted to keep the kind of regal princessy look for them. I didn't want to put them in dresses because they already have such big hair that isn't terribly defined, that if I were to put them in dresses, it might make the silhouette a little bit harder to read. And of course, I kept Luna's colors the same as it is in the pony form. And here they are! I like them a lot! Now that all three are finished, we can look at them all together and see the finished result. So those are all four of my third batch of My Little Pony Equestria Girl redesigns. These were a little bit more challenging to do because they're not the main six, so they're not as incredibly defined as the others are. And by that, I mean little extra tidbits that I could add that really felt like it was them. Like Derpy having a Doctor Who's charm, and Princess Luna liking the 80s aesthetic, which I actually didn't know before this video. Thank you so much to everybody for liking this series so far. It's especially fun for me because My Little Pony and Equestria Girls is something that I've liked for a long time. Definitely let me know in the comments which one was your favorite, and maybe if you liked the idea that I had of it being more like Hogwarts. Maybe not totally like Hogwarts, but I think you get what I mean. Until then, thank you, and goodbye!